For this next section, using different media and techniques to explore value, we're going to be recreating this sphere and its scene down below over here. And what's really pretty fun about this is that we get to not just match the value, but also the technique, the way that the person put down the material. And we're going to pay attention to some of those really important aspects of drawing things so that they look three-dimensional, such as the highlight, the core shadow, the reflected light, and the cast shadow. But what also makes this really stand out and feel three-dimensional is its relationship to the space that it's in. So we're also going to need to put value on the table and on this background space behind the table. The techniques that we're asking you to use is with your graphite pencil, so your set of 2B, 4B, and HB pencils, and the shading technique. So that's this smoothly transitioning technique that we practice here. We're going to add smoothly transitioning value to the blank scene to match the one above it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't also use your eraser. In fact, you will see me coming in with my eraser to do a little reduction like I did over here on the highlight area for sure. I guarantee you that I will. And it also does not mean that you cannot use your smudge stick. You can use that to manipulate the values of a graphite pencil. So I'll be using this. The first thing I would do is pick out my first pencil. Now I'm actually going to begin this working on the sphere because I think it's probably the most challenging aspect and needs the most talking through. You could, as an artist, choose to do the negative space first. Either way is really fine as long as you're paying attention to matching the values in every area. So I've chosen the HB pencil because I know that it's not going to smudge and blend as much, and it's going to be able to lend me the opportunity to draw lightly for a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put a tone down everywhere on the sphere. Now, notice that I'm curving my lines here. I'm actually thinking about the volume of the sphere. I'm thinking about its contour. Now, this is really important. You don't want to approach a round object with a straight line because that's going to flatten it into a circle, and we want it to look round and full. So I'm putting these down. Now, they may end up getting blended away later on, but they also might end up sticking around just a little bit underneath the drawing. So I'm just allowing some of those lines to exist here as I'm building this up. Now, I'm going to call that good with my HB pencil because I know how much easier it is. I could do the whole thing in HB. Honestly, I could do all these values in my HB pencil over here. But I know how much easier it is to work darker values with my other pencils. And I know how much easier they are to spread around with my smudge stick. And so if I want things to smoothly blend, I'm going to set that HB pencil aside. I'm going to work the 2B pencil in on this transition area here that's going from the highlight to the core shadow. Notice that I'm holding my pencil at a pretty flat angle here. It's not really steep up and down. It's laid down close to the paper. That's going to mean that I'm not getting as sharp an edge when I put down my material. And notice I'm still working the contour here. ahead in with my 4B pencil. For my core shadow, I'm going to be very careful not to catch my reflected light. That reflected light is essential because it's going to help separate the sphere from the table and make it feel more realistic, because light bounces around in real life all of the time. Using layering and pencil pressure can give you different values. So that will be the technique here, along with the shading that I'm using to get this darker value here in the core shadow. And you can see the curvature in these different bands of light and dark. It's helping me understand the volume of the form. Now I'm going to use my smudge stick, and I'm going to use it from the light, kind of the circular motion again, because I want this to feel round. And I'm going from dark to light because I don't want to drag too much of the dark stuff into my highlight area, because even though this is a nice smudge stick and it was nice and clean, as soon as I touch it onto something, it's going to be covered and it will add value to my scene. So I just have to be aware of that happening. In fact, I'm going to use a little bit of that value right down here in my reflected light, because I didn't want to add pencil in there because I knew it was going to get too dark if I did. But let's just smudge a little bit down there to get us just the right amount of value, just a kiss of value down there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and speed draw the background, and you're going to see how this feels even more full and round than it does now. And I'm going to hold off on doing anything with my highlight until I put in the value in the background. I may need it, I might not. Let's find out.